Right, legends, this is a little trigger ball tutorial to help you with your sore legs after running. So basically, this is a trigger ball. You don't have to have one exactly the same. It can just be a tennis ball, so ball shaped. Basically, it just is going to release and target tight spots in your muscles. So you're just applying pressure to it, and it's just helping to release the tension, just improve blood flow, and it's going to reduce the pain. So you want to try and be as relaxed as possible. I say relaxed in inverted commas because it does cause a little bit of discomfort, but it shouldn't be discomfort where you're like, oh my god, that is 9 out of 10 pain. It should be like, oh, that's uncomfortable, but as I sit on the ball for a little bit longer, it feels like it's releasing and I can actually relax into it. So first one for the glutes, so we're using one of those. You're going to go straight leg, so we're going to start with the right leg. Straight leg for the glute that we're targeting, which will be right in the middle of your butt. And then we'll bring the other leg and the other knee up. So, as relaxed as you can. Now, I'm just going to start in the middle. So for me that's there. And it feels not too tight there, but just as I'm just shifting a little bit, I can feel that this part of my glute is quite tight. So, once you find the spot, it's not about rolling onto it and rolling back and forth. You want to find that spot, and then breathe in through the nose, and then nice long exhale through the mouth, and relax, try and relax onto that spot. So a few breaths. The key with the breathing, when we breathe in through the nose, and then longer, and slower on the way out, it helps to regulate and calm down that nervous system and relax our bodies. It's actually good to do before sleep as well. Alright, take two. So I didn't want to interrupt the guys' session who just came into the gym. This is probably better anyway, because this is where you're likely to be doing trigger release stuff. And perfect opportunity to do this, you know, when you're chilling, watching Netflix or whatever, or after training sessions. So, once you've found that spot, like I said, breathe, try and relax into it. Then, once it feels like it's relaxing, it's feeling a little bit less tense, we want to try and move into another spot. And obviously depending on how tight you are, depending on how many spots there might be. Now, if you find you go over a spot and it feels almost ropey, that is a spot you need to get into. So once you find, so it might feel like the rope, ball goes over. Once you get to the middle, so for me, I found a spot right there. Find that middle, and then again try and relax into it as much as possible. Alright, so from there, then you can keep moving over to the side of your glute here, so glute max, and then moving over into glute med here. Now, we also have this muscle here, called the TFL. Now, this is not particularly comfortable, but the TFL, when it gets tight, it attaches to your IT band here, which then comes down to your knee. Now, that's really tight, that's pulling on that IT band. That's where you can get, they call it runner's knee, but that's where you can get that discomfort. Feels like this is really tight, or feels like you might even get some pain in the side of the knee there. So with this one, we're looking for just the top of the hip, and then from the top of the hip, we come down, there's a little muscle right there. So to get into that spot, we want to just roll, bring this foot over here, and just try and get in on that angle. Now, if you go too far this way, you'll find there's a little ligament that's attaching down here at the hip. So if you go too far, coming back this way, you'll find that ligament, you'll flick over it. So we want to go to the front there. So I've just gone over it, I'm flicking back to the front, and that right there, again, try and relax into it. That's the spot we want to hold on. To make this even more comfortable, it's handy to get a little pillow. To try and be as comfortable as possible. And again, breathing into it. So find the spot, in through the nose. Long exhale, relax as much as you can. Now, this one can be pretty sore. So if it feels like you're trying to lift yourself up and it feels like just putting your whole body weight is too much, That's where a tennis ball can be handy because a little bit more compression. Or you can do the same thing, but you can just get up, so standing up next to a wall, and then you can just push into the wall and get into that spot there. All right, so that's the glutes. Now, if you're feeling like the top of your glute and your lower back is getting quite tight, or it's feeling like it's tight after running, what we can do, I find the best way to get into the top of the glute here, lying here, 2 ways. So there, we want to tuck our pelvis underneath and try and get into the top, running right across the top there, the glute, so tuck, or better yet, if you can get your legs up, so using something like the couch here, I find it's a bit more relaxing. And then you don't have to hold yourself, you just got your legs supported, you can get to the top of the glute that way. So I personally find this easier. So if I'm just watching TV, then I can just find the spot, again, nice long relaxing breathing, and then just watching TV while you're getting into the glutes there. And then you are nice and relaxed because your legs are just seated up on the couch. So that's to try and get to the top of the glute. Now, the other spot is our QL. So our QL runs here, and it runs to the top of the glute. So that's that, think of like your lower back. So here can get quite tight, and again, we can do it lying on the ground like before, or we can do it with the legs up, which I find a bit easier. So we're aiming for just this crease in here. We're going to bring this leg just into like that pretzel stretch, which you might have seen before. Find that spot, and you know it's a spot because you'll be moving around and go, oh, feels okay, or okay, that's the spot that feels really quite tight, or you're feeling that discomfort. So in there for me, it's feeling quite tight, so I'm just going to hold there. Now, if you ever find a spot where it feels like there's a sharp pain, or you hit a spot and then you get like a referring hot sort of feeling or tingly feeling that travels all the way down the leg, that means you've just popped on top of a nerve. Now, that's not cause for concern really, you just don't want to be sinking onto that spot and holding it for too long because obviously it's not very comfortable either and you're compressing that nerve. So if you find that, oh, it feels a bit tingly, just move off that spot and then making sure we're getting into ideally the muscle belly. All right, now, another one for the hamstrings. So we've done back, we've done glutes, hamstrings. You can do it on a couch, but because obviously a couch is quite soft, you don't really get in quite as well as if you're sitting on a chair. So, cool. So, with this one, we're going underneath hamstring. So, butt, glute here. We're going just here, which is where hamstring meets glute. All right, so there, you can see with my shorts, right there. And then we're gently sitting into it. Depending on how tight your hammies are, sometimes this can be quite intense. Mine, I did a bit of a release yesterday, so mine actually aren't too bad today, but it was a bit more sore yesterday, which is why this works well. So once you've got that ball in place, so that's feeling pretty tight here. So I'm going to hold, relax, and then what we can do as well is just that extension. So just slowly extending that knee, and then coming back. So that's actually feeling all right because I did that yesterday. So I'm going to come a bit further down, so go a bit more mid hamstring. Extend, and then come back. Cool. So hopefully that's given you a good understanding of how to use the trigger ball or tennis ball for your recovery and to get us ready to go again next week for training. Any questions or if there's other spots that you want ideas for or how to get into certain areas that might be tight or sore, let me know.